Here today at Marais Dam in Red Game Reserve. So I thought I'm going to treat myself to a little bit of a chicken liver and some flatbread. So let's start with the flatbread. You need some self-raising flour. I'm just going to put some, like a cup of self-raising flour into my little mixing bowl. This is 500 grams, so I'll just use half of it. This is 250, should be a cup. Right, I'm going to add some olive oil just to the flour. Oh, we have to open that, that won't help. Right, about a tablespoon of olive oil. Right, then next step is I'm going to add half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of double cream yogurt. I'm just adding it in there. And not really measuring, just doing it by eye. So you can do the same. You can see the consistency of the bread once you do it. But yeah, the flatbread, you'll see the consistency. I'm gonna add some salt to this, and I've got this little cute little salt grinder. Works quite nicely. Doesn't take up a lot of space, and I can just refill it every time. Salt's gonna depend on what you want. I'm gonna say about a teaspoon of salt. Right, that's my teaspoon of salt. Then I want to add some rosemary. I've got some fresh rosemary from my garden, so I'm just going to do that and just add as much as you want. I'm just going to add a little bit more. There we go. Right, then we have to mix, and I have to get my spoon to mix this. Right, so you'll see it there. I'm just going to mix up. Oh, and the wind's blowing it all over. But then I'm going to have to get my hands in there just to mix it up. I think I might have to add a little bit more of the yogurt. Yeah, I didn't really add enough, so let's say it's 3/4 cup instead of a half a cup. I'm just going to mix that in there. Yeah, that's better. You can always add a little bit more flour if you need to, but yeah, it will work. I just want it to stick together in a good consistency. Right, once I have a good consistency, I'm just splitting it into 3 little balls. What I'll basically do is make my little flatbread. I'll press them flat and just add them to the pan and just fry them in the pan with a little bit of olive oil. There we go. I'm going to put it to medium heat. Right, now I want to show you something. I bought these little pans from, I'll include the link in the video, but it's a little enamel pan. It's not the best for making eggs and pancakes and things like that because it's not that non-stick, but it's amazing to use this as a plate when you go camping. I use it because I can heat things again, I can cook things in it, so I'm going to make my flatbreads in this too. So I'm going to add it. I'm going to add some olive oil to the pan. Right. Now while that's heating up, I'm going to get the first little flatbread. What I'm basically going to do is I'm going to, you'll see it there, just going to squash that. Just make a nice little flatbread. You can decide how thick you want it. It cooks better the thinner it is because it will be quicker to cook, else you might end up with a little bit of a raw flatbread. But I like to, and you can put flour on the board to keep it from sticking, which I didn't do, which I'm going to struggle, but it's fine, I can get it loose. Okay, right, that's good. I'm just going to pop that in the pan. It's a little bit warm, so I can set it a little bit cooler. But yeah, there she goes. It's going to be a nice little flatbread, and this is going to be amazing with the chicken livers that I'm going to make. Chicken livers you can make with pap, as we call it in South Africa. It's like a porridge or a polenta, basically. People will know polenta, so it's like a polenta, but we call it pap. But today I'm doing flatbread. Right, got the spatula. It doesn't need to go for too long, else it will burn. But you see, these pans work perfectly for things like this, and just the fact that you can use it as a plate and eat, and if you have something that needs to be reheated, then you use this to reheat it again. It is one of the best things that I bought for camping, for our dinners and breakfasts and everything, is this pans. Oh, and you can see that that's nice and brown. Oh, this is going to be amazing. I can hear the hippos just behind me. I haven't seen them today. I've been in the hide. Did not see them at all, but I can hear them splashing. And I can hear them making noises, so I'm glad there's a fence between us, because I know I can't run as fast as a as a hippo. And these flatbreads are amazing. You can eat them with breakfast, with eggs, with just about anything, a soup. It is delicious to eat with. If you make a curry and you use this flatbread with the curry, it is amazing. And it's an easy recipe. I mean, it's self-raising flour, it's yogurt, it's salt, and I add a little bit of olive oil. So what I am going to do afterwards, I'm going to melt some butter, add some garlic to it, and then just brush the melted butter with the garlic over the bread, and that just gives it a amazing taste. Right, and that's how quick it is. It's because you make it nice and flat, it's really quickly just to cook this bread, which is also nice. If you're a big family, it doesn't take the whole day to cook it. It's quick. See there, it's a nice flatbread. This one's cooked as well. Let's just take it off. So what I'll do is, I've already used this butter, but I'm going to use a piece of it. And if you want to buy a knife, buy one of these. It's an Opinel. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but my mom gave it as a gift to me, and it is very, very nice. It works very well. It's sharp. Right, so I'm just going to add a little bit. Oh, and there's a little tick in here, which I'm going to have to check myself when I get home. Right, so we add some butter. Rather more than not enough. So let's just make sure I get enough butter there. Right, now I've got small garlic cloves here. So what I'm going to do, to base in the pan, I'm just going to, let's move this. Because it's small garlic cloves, I'm going to use 3. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to squash it like that so that we can get the skins off. Right, so once you've crushed it like that, it's quite easy to get the skins off. I'll just get rid of that. Right, this one I didn't do a good job the first time. Might have overdone it now, but let's do it. Right, so skins off. And now you can use any garlic crusher. I bought this specific one, you'll see it here. It's a little flat one. It's easier for me to pack this in my camping gear than the little one that you use, so it's quite easy. Put it like that and you just press down, and you can apply like a pressure here. There we go, and you've got your fresh crushed garlic. Right, I'm going to start the fires again. There we go. So it's simply the butter. I'm going to add the garlic. Right, I think I wash that butter. So I'll just use my spoon to stir that. Right, so this is now nicely melted and infused. I'm going to switch it off. Oh, and it smells, for some reason, garlic butter just smells amazing. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it in the pan that I've got here. I'm just going to take this butter that I've melted and brush it over the bread. So I've got that first one on the one side. I'm going to flip it to the other side. Oh, this is going to be amazing. So the next one, don't get hot butter on your hands, that might not be fun. Alright, next one and the last one. There's definitely going to be some leftovers in here, but I've got a long day. Still, this is my brunch, so I'll eat some of it later in the car while driving. And that's it for the flatbread. Okay, first thing I'm going to want to do, I've got just 250 grams of chicken liver, is I want to first of all wash it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it to this pan, and then you'll see there's bits and pieces that you might not want in, so make sure you check and cut out the pieces that you don't want. Right, so I like to cut the chicken liver into little smaller pieces, so sometimes it's a big plunk and then you don't want to cook it like that. So I'm just cutting it a little smaller. So you remember I said first I'm removing the parts that I don't like. Right, so I'm going to cut them into little smaller blocks. So I like it to be about 2 centimeters pieces, 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter, but yeah, I think that's the best way to cook it. Right, so I've cut it now into smaller pieces. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add lemon juice. So I like to add quite a bit of lemon juice, but right, the next thing I'm going to do is thyme. I've got this from my garden, fresh thyme. I'm just gonna, you just run your fingers off it like that. There's some sticks going in there, but that's fine. It's important to do this first because you want the chicken liver just to sit in that lemon juice and thyme just to flavor it. Right, so I've done that. Oh, I can't put that whole piece in. Right, what I'm going to do is just use the knife quickly to mix it up. Okay, then I'm going to leave this aside just to marinate a bit in this lemon juice. Right, there we go. And then quickly, you're going to use the same knife, so I'm quickly going to just wash this. Just going to remove the skin on this. Right. Skin removed. Let's put that in the container. Right. Now what I'm going to do, I like to do it this way. It's not always the right way, but for me it's the easiest way. I'm not a qualified chef or anything, but I like to cut it into quarters, and then what I just do, I just chop them. And you'll see I don't have the chopping technique of a chef. I am a camper that likes to eat. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just add that to the pan. And I'll get to that just now. So what I'll do, first I'll just add I'll get mushrooms. So I'm using about, this is 150 grams of mushrooms. I'm going to use all of it. It's not going into the pan immediately. So what I'm going to do, I'm just quickly going to rinse it. Okay, so it's all rinsed now. What I'm going to do is just cut them into halves, because this is small little mushrooms. I don't like it to be too small, and they're gonna, oh, there goes one, that one we're not going to use. Right, so what I'm going to do is just cut them in half. You don't want them to be too small and totally cooked away in the end. Okay, and I'm not going to add them to the pan now. They're getting added later once the sauce is formed and you've got the chicken liver going already. So I'm just going to put this aside. Fry the onions. What I like to do is add some curry powder. I've got mild curry powder because it is going to be burny because of the hot peri sauce that I'm going to add. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to add about a little bit more than a teaspoon, let's say 2 teaspoons of curry powder. I just add it with the eye. As you see, I don't have a teaspoon with me, and I usually cook like this. Right, so I'm going to add olive oil, a generous amount of olive oil. Don't be shy, because it also adds to the sauce that we're going to have. Right, so I've added the olive oil, and then I'm going to start the little stove. Right. Okay, what you can do at this stage is also add your garlic. I'm not going to crush more garlic. I've already crushed enough that I used in the butter. So what I'm going to do for today, I'm going to add just the butter that I've made with that crushed garlic in. I'm going to add it. I don't usually add it, but for now, for today, I'm going to do it because I don't like wasting. But basically what you need to do is just add 2 cloves of garlic to it. Right, and we're just going to stir that. I always like to add the curry first, just to sort of activate and get that nice aroma going. And I like the onions to be a little bit flavored by the curry, so I add that first. Then we can continue with that. I've mentioned these pans that I've bought. What is nice about this, I'm cooking in it, and I'm going to use to eat out of it. So I'm not going to mess up another plate or anything. I'm cooking in it. I am going to add my bread on the side of it, and I'm going to use this pan to eat out of, which is rather nice. You don't make 100 different things dirty and have to wash up 100 different things afterwards. I don't want the onions to be brown. You just want it to become soft and sort of translucent, and then we'll add the chicken livers. The chicken livers, you'll see that was in the lemon juice. It sort of changed color. I love it when it's flavored like that. Okay, I'm adding the chicken livers. I'm not even removing the lemon juice. It just goes in like that with lemon juice that was added. Okay, so now we're just going to leave this to cook a little bit. So you'll see the chicken livers will change color. So that's what we want to do. We don't want to overcook it in here because we want to add the sauce, and the sauce will cook most of it. Okay, next step is going to be paprika. Don't be shy. Oh, and this is a new one. Look here, failure by me. Right, I'm just going to add that. You can generously add it. I'm even going to think I'm going to take that off and generously add that. Right, let's say it's about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Right. Mix that up. The nice thing about chicken livers is always the sauce, so it needs to be saucy. It mustn't be, because you're going to put this on bread and eat it with bread or pap. You can, even if you put it on pap, you can cook it with the egg if you do it for breakfast. I'm doing brunch today, I prefer not to do that. Okay, so now while that's going, I'm going to add the mushrooms. I might have a little bit of a space issue here today. Not that bad. You'll see the mushrooms will shrink away. Okay, so now we want to start combining everything to make the sauce. So first thing I'm going to do is add some tomato paste. I've just got a sachet, 500 grams of tomato paste. I'm going to add that. Right, and then I'm going to add some Worcester sauce, about a tablespoon. This smells amazing. The garlic, the onions, the just sauce that you smell on this is amazing. And I've made a bit of a mess here. The flames are gonna burn now. Oh, and I've just heard a fish eagle again there. Yo, what a privilege. Just standing here making food out in the nature. You can hear hippos on that side, you can hear fish eagles somewhere that side. It is amazing. I would definitely, if you just feel like you need to take a day off, take a day off. If you're in Pretoria, Gauteng area, come to Reeds Lake Game Reserve. I mean, I saw rhinos this morning. It is amazing. It's quiet. There's a couple over there, a couple over there sitting. So the place isn't full, and it's a Friday today. So yeah, it's really a lovely place to visit. There we go. I think that's sufficiently cooked. I'm gonna put off my little stove and I'm gonna plate up. So what I've done is, I said I can eat out of this, but you saw it's rather full. So I'm gonna rather plate. I washed the other one that I've used, so it's nice and clean. So I'm gonna plate into that. And make sure you get enough sauce. Oh, and there's the fish eagle again. That's amazing. Right, you need some sauce to scoop up with your bread. Right, I'm gonna move this stove. It's not too hot. I have to clean this when I get going. So what I like to do is, just for a little bit of garnish, add coriander leaves. And the coriander leaves, it always goes great with curries or burny stuff. So I really love adding that. And then what we're gonna do, if I could find where I eat my bread, there you have it. You've got your nice flatbread that we made with some garlic butter over and your chicken livers, and that's going to be amazing. Okay, and I always say proof is in the pudding, so I'm gonna get this chicken liver, and what I usually do, I use my bread as a vessel for this. So that's amazing. Just taste it. You've got a little bit of that lemon juice, a little bit of that peri peri, you've got the paprika. It is amazing. A little bit of garlic. This is amazing. The sauce is simply amazing, and I tell you now, make this on your camping trip. It is glorious, amazing. Thanks for watching. I'm going to enjoy this and then see if I can see more wildlife.